He's not saying that what Epstein did is a hoax. It's a terrible, unspeakable evil. He believes that himself. When he first heard the rumor, he kicked him out of Mar-a-Lago. He was an FBI informant to try to take this stuff down.
You remember that ridiculous lie that you then really never heard anything else about from Mike Johnson? I mean, there's a lot of lies there. Let me be more specific. The idea that Donald Trump was an informant. Yeah, Donald Trump, actually, he's not doing like a cover up to protect Epstein and Ghislaine Maxwell and the others. He was the one who was taking him down. That is Mike Johnson just having a little bit of QAnon fun. That's all. Pretending that, oh, there's a plan, trust in the plan. But all of that was a lie. That Donald Trump thinks that all of this was disgusting and evil. Have you heard Donald Trump say that? Like, Donald Trump is asked about this pretty much every day, right? Does Donald Trump ever pause to say, my God, Epstein was a unique, incomprehensible evil, one of the cruelest, most disgusting people I've ever had the misfortune of? No, there is none of that. He does talk like that, but it's about like Caitlin Collins and Don Lemon or whatever. He doesn't seem to really have much of a problem with Jeffrey Epstein. Doesn't really seem to take much of this seriously. And while they will say, oh, he threw him out because he was so disgusting. We're gonna fact check that in this segment. But before we even fact check that, bear in mind, Trump doesn't even claim that that's what it was. He does say that he threw him out, but he implies it's because he poached my employee. I want my employees. He doesn't even take the opportunity to put on the like false bravado that he was a hero. Mike Johnson needs to pretend that for him. So here is the issue with all of those cover stories. They're all lies, every bit of it, and we now have the documented proof to establish it. So apparently, Trump did talk to Palm Beach police. This is all the way back in 2006, okay? July 2006, just as Jeffrey Epstein's criminal sex charge became public, Trump called then Palm Beach Police Chief Michael Reiter to tell him that Epstein's activities with teenage girls were well known in both New York and Palm Beach, saying, thank goodness you're stopping him. Everyone has known he's been doing this. Now, this was relayed in a 2019 FBI interview that Reiter had that's in the Epstein files. So there's a couple of problems in that. So first of all, if everybody knows, why is Donald Trump calling when the charges are being made public? If he knows what he's doing, if everybody knows, and we've known, the past tense, why didn't he say anything before? I mean, if it's a grotesque evil, as Mike Johnson says, and Donald Trump was horrified by what Jeffrey Epstein did, why did he wait until Jeffrey Epstein was already facing charges about it? Like, imagine if you knew that somebody had just murdered someone and you're just sitting around like, man, if they ever find the body and connect the dots, I'm gonna get in on this action. You're not a hero, okay? You're not an informant in that case. You're a bandwagoner at the most. So anyway, a little bit more information. Reiter told FBI agents that Trump revealed that Epstein's associate Maxwell was Epstein's operative and that Trump said she is evil and to focus on her, according to the report. Interesting that, focus on her. You got Epstein, focus on her. Interesting. The drive to protect Epstein has been alive for literally 20 plus years. Trump told Reiter that, quote, he was around Epstein once when teenagers were present and Trump got the hell out of there. Trump also told Reiter that he threw Epstein out of his Mar-a-Lago club, which we'll return to that too, but wait. So you saw something with Epstein and teenagers and you were disgusted by what you saw, so you left and that's it. Until a month later or a year later or 10 years later, we don't know, you then bring it up in a conversation. Did you help the teenagers when you left? And also, if this is true or not, I really don't know with Donald Trump. He's such a serial liar. Why have you never said anything about this? You keep saying you didn't know anything about Epstein. You're barely friends. I was never really friendly with him. Evidently, you were there at least the onset of one pedophile party, and yet weirdly, you didn't feel like bringing that up. Interesting that. Now, Trump has always returned, although the motives have changed, to the idea that he threw Epstein out of his club. Okay, so that's the evidence that he presents, the vague evidence that he's not like Epstein, that he has some problem with him. Again, didn't report him to the police, didn't try to get justice for the victims then or now, But at least he barred him from Mar-a-Lago, which is basically prison. I mean, if you can't go to Mar-a-Lago, you might as well be in the pen. But anyway, according to Jamie Raskin, the documents that he has taken a look at prove that that story also has a few problems.
I saw one document which was an email that was sent by Jeffrey Epstein to Ghislaine Maxwell, which was the forward of an email that he had received from some of his lawyers, giving an account of a conversation between Epstein lawyers and Trump lawyers and others about what had taken place during that 2009 period. It was during the period of the 2009 investigation. And Epstein's lawyers synopsized and quoted Trump as saying that that Jeffrey Epstein was not a member of his club at Mar-a-Lago, but he was a guest at Mar-a-Lago, and he had never been asked to leave. And that was redacted for some indeterminate, inscrutable reason. I know it seems to be at odds with some things that President Trump has been saying recently about how he had kicked Jeffrey Epstein out of his club or asked him to leave. And this was at least one report that appears to contradict it.
Yeah, it does appear to contradict him, and it's from the lawyers. And by the way, I don't know if they've ever claimed that Epstein was a member of the club, just that he went there. So evidently, based on this new evidence, there was no change whatsoever to Epstein's relationship with Mar-a-Lago on into years. Evidently, after Trump had that conversation with the FBI, apparently Epstein was, I guess, still invited to Mar-a-Lago. Side note also, what's wrong with Raskin's hair? It looks like a perfectly normal haircut. And by the way, amongst congressmen, I think it ranks in a pretty high percentile for normal haircuts, you freaking weirdos. But anyway, yeah, that's strange that Donald Trump has been claiming really loosely, and the story always changes. No, I not me and Epstein, never. I mean, I kicked him out of the club, except that you didn't kick him out of the club. And even when you claim that you kicked him out of the club, it was for because you felt he'd stolen an employee, but evidently you were at a pedophile party and you didn't feel like bringing it up. This is absolutely gross. Want to know what else can be gross? Not just the words, the numbers. Here's a number for you that's gross. Like we had heard Trump was in the Epstein files dozens of times, and then it was 1,000 times, and then it was thousands of times. And then it gets into a number so high that we have to get creative with it. Like when I cite that his name appears in the Epstein files more than Harry Potter appears in the Harry Potter books. According to Jamie Raskin, when they search the Epstein files, Donald Trump's name appears over 1 million times. 1 million appearances in the pedophile PDF files. 1 million. Now again, no number is proof that he did something, but a lot of evidence is coming up about what he didn't do, which is protect the women, tell the police what he knew when it would actually make any difference whatsoever. And even when he did contact them, what's his first inclination? Take them off of Epstein and put them on to Ghislaine Maxwell. Focus on her, not on that guy who evidently, when that conversation is going on, still kind of Trump's friend, despite all that they're finding out. Except that Trump wasn't just finding it out then. According to Trump, he'd known for a long time. He knew in Florida, he knew in New York. And yet, he just leaves him out there. How many women, how many girls were victimized during the period between when Donald Trump found out what he knew and then eventually the charges? I think these are some amazing questions, not just for me to ask, but if you're one of these Save the Children folks, one of these people whose entire political identity was wanting to stop elite pedophiles, why the hell aren't you asking these questions? But that said, who could answer some questions? Ghislaine Maxwell, except that she's probably not going to. We're now finding out her attorney gives a whole bunch of BS reasons as to why she can't say anything. It's because she doesn't want to say anything. She doesn't want to help the victims. She doesn't want to reveal new information. She wants a goddamn pardon. And I'm not reading that whole novel or whatever. The entire point of that novel is give me a pardon. Give me a pardon now. Pardon me a pardon. That's what it is. That's what she wants. Why she would get that? No one understands, except, as Jamie Raskin says, these things are inscrutable, except that they're not. She can come up and be like, yeah, no, Donald Trump didn't do anything. Whatever, he didn't do anything. Give me a pardon. And it is fully legal for him to do that. It's insane for him to do that, but he just might do that. And it could actually come sooner rather than later.